The jungle sky boiled with rage. Dark, heavy clouds swallowed the last of the daylight, unleashing a torrential downpour. Rain came down not in drops, but in solid gray sheets, and with every blinding flash of lightning, the world turned into a stark, monochrome photograph. It was a night when the jungle itself seemed to be at war. Beneath the sprawling canopy of an ancient ironwood tree, three figures sought refuge. Tantor, the elephant, was a trembling mountain of gray. Each thunderclap sent a shudder through his massive frame, his eyes wide with primordial fear. "This is it," he wailed, his voice a high-pitched trumpet of panic. "I can feel it in my tusks. The jungle's going to flood, and we're all going to float away." Beside him, Terk, ever the pragmatist, rolled her eyes. She nudged him with her shoulder, trying to knock some sense into him. "Oh, relax, you big baby," she scoffed. "Look on the bright side. If we float away, at least you'll make a great raft." I called dibs on steering. Tarzan, perched on a low-hanging branch, let out a soft chuckle, the sound barely audible over the storm's fury. The rain plastered his long hair to his face and shoulders, but he seemed perfectly at home, a part of the wild symphony. But then his amusement vanished. He froze, his body going rigid. His head tilted, and his ears, finely tuned to every secret whisper of the jungle, perked up. Through the relentless roar of the rain and the boom of thunder, he heard something else. Faintly, a sound he'd never heard before. A drumbeat. It was slow, rhythmic, and deeply unfamiliar. A steady, pulsing heartbeat that seemed to emanate from the very soul of the storm. He leaned forward, his green eyes narrowing, trying to pierce the veil of rain. What's that sound?" he whispered, more to himself than to his friends. The jungle had a million voices, but this one was new, and it called to something deep within him. Terk and Tantor exchanged a worried glance. They heard it too now, a distant, muffled thrumming that felt alien and intrusive. "Whatever it is, I don't like it," Tantor whimpered, trying to shrink even further under the branches. Terk scrambled up closer to Tarzan, her usual bravado replaced by a genuine unease. "Tarzan, no," she pleaded. "Just let it go. It's a bad night to go looking for trouble." But the sound was a hook, and it had already caught in Tarzan's soul. Curiosity, more powerful than any fear, surged through him. Ignoring his friend's protests, he launched himself from the branch, grabbing a thick, dripping vine. "Are you out of your mind?" Terk hissed from behind him. "Don't follow that." "It's bad news," Tantor's terrified plea echoed after him. "It's monsters. Big, scary, drum-beating monsters." Their voices were swallowed by the storm. Tarzan was a silent phantom moving through the upper world of the jungle. He swung from vine to vine, his movements fluid and sure, a stark contrast to the chaos raging around him. The rain slicked every surface, but his grip was like iron. He was driven, propelled forward by an instinct he couldn't name, pulled toward the source of that hypnotic rhythm. Then he stopped. Perched high in the branches of a fig tree, he peered down and his eyes went wide. Below, in a small, rain-swept clearing, a circle of fire blazed against the oppressive darkness. It was a defiant beacon, spitting sparks and smoke into the storm, and around the fire were people. Their shadows, elongated and distorted, danced wildly as they moved in time to the drums they beat. They were singing, their voices a powerful chant that blended with the thunder. Sparks flew from the fire, glowing like angry fireflies against the dark, wet leaves. Tarzan's breath caught in his throat. He had seen his reflection in pools of water, but he had never seen another face like his own. Mesmerized, he crept lower along the branch, his heart pounding a frantic counter-rhythm to the drums. The flickering firelight illuminated their faces with eyes, noses, and mouths arranged just like his. They were like him. Suddenly, a massive, powerful hand clamped down on his arm. Tarzan yelped, spinning around in shock. Towering over him, silhouetted against a flash of lightning, was Kerchak. The silverback's face was a mask of cold fury, his eyes burning with an intensity that rivaled the storm. "Humans," he growled, his voice a low, dangerous rumble that vibrated through Tarzan's very bones. "They bring nothing but danger." Tarzan pulled back, wrenching his arm free. His mind reeled with confusion, the image of the firelit faces warring with the anger of his adoptive father. "But," he stammered, his voice trembling, "but they're like me. Aren't they my people?" He looked from Kerchak's furious face back towards the clearing, a desperate hope flickering in his chest. Kerchak's answer was not in words. With a roar that merged with the crashing thunder overhead, he slammed his fist against the trunk of the tree. The entire branch shuddered under the impact. "You are not them," he bellowed, his voice laced with years of pain and distrust. "You are not us. You are nothing if you chase them." The finality in his voice was like a physical blow. The firelight from the human camp flickered in Tarzan's wide, stunned eyes. His heart hammered against his ribs, torn between the deep, primal need to belong and the harsh truth Kerchak had just thrown at him. Who was he? The man in the jungle, or something else entirely? Later, the storm had gentled to a steady, mournful drizzle. The drums had fallen silent. Tarzan sat alone on a mossy outcrop, his knees pulled up to his chest, his head buried in his arms. The world felt cold, empty. He felt like a stranger in his own home. He didn't hear Kala's quiet approach until she sat down beside him, her familiar warmth a welcome comfort in the damp chill. She didn't speak at first, simply draping a gentle arm around his shoulders. She pulled him into a full embrace, her large, warm hand stroking his hair. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was as soft and steady as the rain. "One day, you'll know who you are, Tarzan," she said tenderly, her chin resting on the top of his head. "You'll find your own path. But no matter what you discover, no matter where you go, you will always be my son." Tarzan slowly lifted his head, looking up at her. Tears, hot and stinging, mixed with the cool raindrops on his cheeks. He saw nothing but love and acceptance in her kind eyes. With a choked sob, he leaned into her embrace, holding on tight as if she were the only solid thing in a world that had suddenly tilted on its axis. As the camera pulls back, we see them huddled together, a small island of warmth in the vast, dark jungle. And in the distance, a single drum begins to beat again, its faint echo a haunting promise, a mysterious question on the night air. The jungle whispered of change, and Tarzan's heart began to beat with the rhythm of destiny.